Schönen guten Tag, TCGIS community. This is Ted Anderson, the director of your child's school.
And Sam Walling, School Board Chair for TCGIS.
We know that this year, more so than past years, has been fast-moving and full of change, and it's not always easy to get a full sense of where we've been, where we are now, and where we're headed.
So we thought we'd take a few minutes to give you a state of the school, so to speak, and to summarize how we are doing with just 1/3 of the school year left to go.
I'll start by sharing a few things from the teaching and learning side of school, and from our internal operations. On February 15th, our school held its lottery for admission for kindergarten for next year. We have 70 kids on the waiting list and 27 families who are eager to join the TCGIS community. This is a strong sign of strength for our school that interest is so high. In May, our 8th grade will go on its capstone exchange. They're excited to go to Germany and return the visit from the Germans who were here in the fall. An exciting development over the course of the year has been the advent of a parent council. We will be holding online elections in March and look forward to our first parent council meeting on April 18th. We have a number of items with which we are looking forward to bring to a parent council to better get clear feedback from our parent community as to help us direct the school. Sam, can you tell us a little bit about the building project?
Happy to, Ted. Obviously, the school's building project has received a lot of time and energy this year, and we aren't done yet. Given that, it's worth revisiting why we proceeded down this path in the first place. When we moved to the Como location in 2013, we planned on a school with 3 sections of grades K through 5 and 2 sections of grades 6 through 8. That's not unusual for an immersion school, where students leave for various reasons over the course of their primary school career, and they cannot be replaced due to the language skills that higher grade levels require. Instead, our students have chosen to stay. That is a great problem to have, as it speaks to the success of the school and the community that we have created. The board explored various solutions for the higher than expected enrollment, many of which included preserving what we call the aula. It considered splitting the campus, purchasing adjacent property, and even moving the entire school to a different location. Ultimately, the only option that met the school's needs and stayed within the school's budget was staying at the Como location and replacing the aula with a modern facility that includes more classrooms, more small group spaces, a full-size gym, and a larger cafeteria. We love the Como neighborhood, and we want to make this location our forever home.
Indeed. Unfortunately, we've faced opposition at every turn, and that opposition continues today. To construct our envisioned building, we need the city to approve our site plan and 3 variances. The City Planning Commission declined to take any action on our site plan and variances, meaning that by law, they would automatically be approved. The City Council was scheduled to hear an appeal of that decision when the opposition filed a petition for an environmental assessment worksheet. All site plan and variance processes are on hold while the environmental assessment process, which will be conducted by the City of St. Paul, is underway. The city has not communicated a timeline for this process. To construct the envisioned building, we also need the city to deny a petition to historically designate the aula. The Heritage Preservation Commission recommended designation, and the Planning Commission recommended against designation. The City Council was tentatively scheduled to consider whether to adopt the HPC's designation when it notified us that the public hearing on the proposal would not go forward on March 20th. The city has not communicated why the delay, nor a timeline for this process either.
So unfortunately, as of right now, we don't know when the city will take these issues up or when they will be finally resolved. That said, we are confident that when the city does take these issues up, it will see that the school's vision aligns with the city's vision, and the city will prioritize its future over its past.
You can help make that happen if you haven't already. Write your city council member and tell them why the school's building project needs to go forward and why it's good for the city of St. Paul. And remember to maintain a civil dialogue on social media. You don't have to be a board member to be a representative of the school, and we want to be as respectful in chat rooms as we are in classrooms.
Thanks, Ted. Financially, our overall fiscal health remains strong. We have plenty of cash, and we have a healthy fund balance, which is charter school speak for your rainy day fund. Operationally, however, this year we are facing a challenge. We budgeted a surplus of just over $160,000, and as of right now, we are projecting a deficit of just over $100,000. Now, even though you might think that we have the savings that we need to absorb that deficit, It still matters because if the deficit is too big, that means we could breach agreements that we made in the bonds that we used to build this school. Obviously, we don't want that to happen, especially when we anticipate going back to the bond market in the near future to issue more bonds for a building project when we finally get the go-ahead. One thing to be clear about also is that the budget deficit is not due to the building project. Costs associated with the building project are borne by the building company, which has its own financial statements and its own balance sheet.
The unanticipated financial difficulties come primarily from two sources. The first is related to teaching expenses. A teacher whose position was paid for by the German government had left the school last summer, and we have had to pay for that teacher's replacement out of our own pocket. Also, a change in Minnesota's teacher licensure requirements has prevented some of our German teachers from getting their licenses this year. As a result, we've had to pay licensed subs to be in the classrooms with these teachers in order to be compliant with state law.
Another reason for the deficit is that we have higher than expected busing expenses. It is important to understand that transportation costs come out of our general budget. The City of St. Paul does not provide the buses that we use to transport our kids to and from school. Instead, we pay for them ourselves. To help offset these costs, in years past, we have relied on the willingness of parents to donate for the rides that their children take. This year, however, we have experienced a double whammy. First, we have had to add a bus line because ridership has been so high. In addition, bus donations are way down. So, at the beginning of the year, we budgeted busing expenses of $120,000 and donations of $32,000 for a net cost of $88,000. As of right now, however, we are projecting busing expenses of $175,000 and donations are at just over $7,000. At the current pace, our net expense for the year would be $165,000, or nearly twice what we originally budgeted for when we began the year.
So what can you do to help? With respect to state licensing, we encourage you to call or write your state legislators and tell them that taxpayer dollars are being wasted in unnecessary bureaucracy, keeping qualified people out of the classroom.
And with respect to busing, please donate whatever you can. If you didn't before because of the different payment systems, consider making up some of the donations that you may have skipped. Every dollar you donate is a dollar that can stay in our classrooms. Vielen Dank.
To sum things up, the state of our school is strong, but we have challenges ahead. Our common purpose and our shared vision for our school is what has created that strength, and it's what will carry us through these obstacles ahead. But don't take our word for it. The school recently received a tremendous letter of support from its authorizer, the University of St. Thomas, which outlines the authorizer's recognition of the strength of our processes, the thoughtfulness and quality of our planning, and the overall strength of our school, both financially and educationally. That will be shared today in the Elton Brief, and we encourage you to take a look at it yourself.
And remember, board elections are right around the corner, and we are always looking for volunteers to help out on our committees. All board and committee meetings are open to the public and are on the school's calendar. We'd love to see you there.
Vielen Dank.
Tschüss.
Tschüss.